You're not bad with money. You're just in a phase nobody warned you about. On paper, you're fine, but life doesn't feel that way. Nobody warned us about this phase of life, not because it's dramatic, not because it's tragic, but because it looks normal. From the outside, everything seems fine. You're working, you're earning, you're paying your bills, you're doing what you were told was the responsible path. And yet, something feels off. You don't feel broke, but you don't feel secure either. You don't feel careless, but you also don't feel in control. You're not failing, but you're not moving forward the way you expected. And the most confusing part is this. On paper, your life looks better than it ever has. In reality, it feels heavier. That disconnect between how things look and how they feel is what this video is about. Because this phase of life doesn't come with warnings. It doesn't come with alarms. It arrives quietly. And most people don't realize what's happening until years later. Most of us grew up with a simple expectation. Study hard, get a decent job, earn a stable income. Life will gradually become easier. And for a short while, it actually does. The first paycheck feels like freedom. The first apartment feels like independence. The first promotion feels like progress. But then something changes. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just slowly. Your income increases, but so does everything attached to it. Your lifestyle doesn't explode, it just fills up. A slightly better place to live, a reliable car instead of an old one, a few subscriptions that make life more comfortable, occasional travel, small upgrades that feel reasonable. Nothing reckless, nothing irresponsible. And that's why this phase is so dangerous, because nothing feels like a mistake. Let's make this concrete. Imagine a young professional in the US, the UK, or Western Europe. They earn the equivalent of about $60,000 a year. After taxes, health insurance, and basic deductions, that becomes roughly $3,500 to $3,800 a month in actual take-home pay. Now life starts taking its share. Rent or mortgage, $1,400 to $1,800. Utilities, internet, phone, $200. Car payment or transport, $350. Insurance, $150. Student loans or credit cards, $250. Groceries and basic living, $400. Subscriptions, small comforts, occasional eating out, $250. Without anything extravagant, you're already close to $3,000. What's left is not zero, but it's thin. There's no crisis here, no dramatic shortage, just pressure. And that pressure becomes constant. You're not struggling enough to panic, but you're not free enough to relax. This is the phase nobody warned us about. The mistake isn't spending too much. The mistake is locking your future income into fixed decisions too early. Most people think financial mistakes look loud. Luxury cars, lavish vacations, wild spending. But the real damage comes from quiet commitments. A rent that can't be adjusted, a car payment that lasts years, monthly obligations that don't care how motivated you feel. Each decision feels small at the time, but together they shape your entire financial flexibility. This phase isn't about bad choices, it's about timing. We made long-term commitments before we fully understood how life would change. Psychologically, this phase is tricky because your identity is changing. You're no longer a student. You're not starting out anymore. You're expected to be stable, and stability feels responsible. So when life offers comfort in exchange for commitment, we accept it. Not because we're weak, but because humans value certainty. A predictable monthly payment feels safer than uncertainty. We optimize for short-term calm, even if it costs long-term flexibility. And society rewards this behavior. You're praised for settling down, for upgrading your lifestyle, for being dependable. Nobody asks if you're adaptable. Let's slow this down with basic math. A $400 car payment doesn't feel heavy.
until you realize it's $4,800 a year for 5 years. That's $24,000, not spent at once, quietly drained. The same with rent increases, subscriptions, small recurring costs. Individually, they feel harmless. Collectively, they consume years of potential. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't have a spending problem. They have a commitment density problem. Too much of their future income is already spoken for. If this phase is ignored, something subtle happens. You stop thinking long-term, not intentionally, but mentally. You delay decisions. You avoid looking too far ahead. You focus on getting through months instead of shaping years. This is how people wake up at 40 confused, not because they failed, but because time passed while they were busy maintaining stability. This phase doesn't destroy finances, it freezes them. How financially intelligent people think differently. Financially intelligent people don't necessarily earn more. They think differently about commitments. They don't ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "What does this lock me into?" They protect flexibility more than comfort. They understand that income growth matters less if freedom shrinks. They don't rush to optimize lifestyle. They optimize options. And importantly, they don't feel guilty for saying no to upgrades. They understand timing. This phase of life isn't a failure. It's not a mistake. It's a transition that most people enter without a map. If you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or quietly anxious, you're not broken. You're just navigating a phase that nobody explained. Awareness doesn't fix everything overnight, but it gives you back something powerful: perspective. And perspective is where intelligent decisions begin. If this video made you feel understood, not pressured, not judged, then this channel is probably for you. You can subscribe if you want more calm, honest conversations like this. No noise, no hype, just clarity.